Equality and Women's Economic Empowerment. It builds on the 2024 ASO Accord for Economic and Financial Inclusion and discusses Nigeria's commitment to achieving Sustainable Development Goal 5, gender equality and empowerment of all women and girls. According to VP Shettima, Project #She is included is built on 4 key pillars of education and financial literacy, maternal health care, gender-sensitive policies and programs, and expanded economic opportunities for women. The Vice President announced that the initiative will reach all 774 local government areas across Nigeria to ensure that no woman is left behind. He explained that the project is not just about meeting quotas, it is about unlocking the full potentials of the people to drive the broader economic goals of President Bola Tinubu's administration. The Vice President noted that the initiative will be spearheaded by Presidential Committee on Economic and Financial Inclusion in partnership with Ministry of Women Affairs. Just as a technical advisor to the President on Economic and Financial Inclusion, Dr. Nuruddin Zauro said the conference presents a formidable platform for transformation, alignment of goals, sharing of insights. Dr. Nuruddin Zauro said the conference presents a formidable platform for transformation, alignment of goals, sharing of insight, and designing of actionable plans that will break barriers and build resilience that will lead to financial inclusion across the country.
It is a reaffirmation of the journey we embark upon with the launch of the ASO Accord for Economic and Financial Inclusion in April 2024, right here in this chamber. This is a bold statement that we understand the magnitude of our responsibility, not just to Nigeria, but to the entire African continent. 1 out of every 4 black people is a Nigerian. And by the end of the century, Nigeria will be the most populous nation on earth. And by 2050, will surpass the United States as the 3rd most populous nation on earth. Numbers count. Half of our population are women. And wherever Nigeria goes, that's where Africa goes.
It gladdens my heart actually to see eminent personalities such as in the room, and it ensures that you have a buy-in, and of course we have the buy-in of people across all segments of our society in Nigeria. It then means that they are indeed supporting what we are doing in order to add value and, of course, to support our women and, by implication, to support our entire country.
In her remarks, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, said the conference was an important milestone in the collective effort to outline ways to breaking barriers to empower women and promoting inclusion. She said gender inclusion was a key enabler to sustainable development and central to addressing poverty and fostering economic growth, noting that it should translate into financial independence, wealth creation and leadership development for women across different sectors. The CJN assured that the judiciary will work in partnership with stakeholders to ensure that the rights of women to access economic resources and ownership of property, among others, are protected and not subjected to the dictate.
Policy interventions, institutional reforms, and strategic collaborations, this initiative aims to provide Nigerian women with access to critical resources, ensuring that no woman is left behind. The judiciary, as a guardian of justice and fairness, must also align with this vision by reinforcing the legal frameworks that support women's economic empowerment.
Governors at the event said the goal of the conference aligned with the agenda of state government.
They are more patient to wait and vote. And when they promise you they will vote you, they will surely vote you. So I think empowering this segment of the society is really commend them for taking this bold step, because it's a step that is in the right direction.
All speakers at the launch agreed that inclusion is not a charity, but an economic imperative, noting that empowering women is akin to driving economic growth, as they described women as economic drivers. And to all the stories. The National Assembly is advocating for increased funding for the National Inland Waterways Authority (NIWA), emphasizing the critical need to prioritize the development of water transportation. This call was made during a session where NIWA's Managing Director Bola Oyebamiji presented the agency's budget before the Joint Committee on Marine Transport. Correspondent Glojo reports that the lawmakers acknowledged ongoing challenges such as inadequate infrastructure and frequent accidents, urging substantial investment in the sector to mitigate risks and improve safety.
For transportation, a lot of money is put into road construction. And by the time this construction is being made, in less than a year, you see that the road will break down because of the traffic and and of course the truck and all that the pressure on the road. By the time we begin to now do that, you will be decongesting the road, and then it will make this road to last. And of course, it's cheap.
The removal of wrecks and logs is very, very important. And not only that, at times overload.
Earlier, Managing Director of NIWA, Oyebamiji, emphasized the critical importance of Nigeria's waterways for economic growth and connectivity, noting that infrastructural development, such as acquisition of vessels and construction in inland water ports, will be deployed.
Patrol boats and rehabilitation of search and rescue stations, channel maintenance, part dredging of 1,000-kilometer navigable inland waterways, removal of wrecks and logs within inland waterways, mechanical and manual clearing of water icings.
The federal government has cautioned individuals against storing explosive devices in their homes for illegal mining activities, emphasizing the grave risks such practices pose to lives and properties. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, issued this warning during a condolence visit to Sabon-Pegi, Niger State, where a dynamite explosion on Monday claimed lives and caused widespread destruction. This was detailed in a statement issued by the Minister's Special Assistant, Rabiu Ibrahim, accompanying the Minister on the visit, where Niger State Governor Muhammad Umar Bago, former Governor and Senator representing Niger North Alhaji Abubakar Sani Bello, and Speaker of Niger State House of Assembly Alhaji Abdulmalik Sirikindaji, among other top-ranking officials. Idris stressed the urgent need to halt the dangerous practice of storing explosives, revealing that President Bola Tinubu has ordered the Federal Ministry of Solid Minerals Development to reorganize the sector to curb illegalities. The minister further highlighted the recent surge in action to prevent future occurrences. The Federal Inland Revenue Service has declared its readiness to reposition the nation's economy through capacity building, infrastructure, and facility enhancement and technology advancement. FIRS 2025 Management Retreat. Correspondent Glojo completes the story.
Reviewing the activities of the agency in 2024, the FIRS boss, Zak Adedeji, set the record-breaking generation of 21.6 trillion naira in revenue, surpassing the target of 19.4 trillion, will remain a landmark in the history of FIRS in Nigeria. He attributed the feat to resilience, professionalism, and dedication displayed by staff, coupled with visionary leadership and strategic focus on the pillars of people, technology, and processes.
That this success is not just ours to celebrate. The Federal Land Revenue Service is more than a revenue authority, upholding Nigeria's progress, an agent of the new whole
revenue authority on the global stage.
This year, our mission is both ambitious and transformative, to build a service of excellent, effective use of technology to enhance our processes. This mission is not just about sustaining our success, but about consistently elevating our impact and solidify our position as a model revenue authority on the global stage.
Every year we have been, you can see in 2020, which was COVID year, obviously, it was not 4.9 trillion, but by Last year, we had achieved 21.7 trillion. And there were many reasons for that, of course. Apart from administrative reforms, we also had policy changes.
Laid a strong foundation for what promises to be an even more impactful year in 2025. The management team has demonstrated resilience and focus, transmitting and translating ambition into tangible outcomes that have advanced the goals of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, and by extension, the prosperity of our great nation.
High point of the opening session was a panel discussion on the theme of the retreat on building a high-performing FIRS, elevating performance through collaboration and innovation. From Abuja, Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
The Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, Dr. Aminu Maida, as telecom operators in the country. Speaking during the budget defense exercise before the National Assembly Joint Committee on Telecommunications at the National Assembly Complex in Abuja, Maida explained that despite the NCC's effort to auction the 5G spectrum, it remained unsold. He noted that the two largest telecom operators had already acquired and were underutilizing their 5G spectrum, while the third largest operator, which the Commission had hoped would make a purchase, opted to focus on expanding its 4G network instead. The NCC team revealed that in 2024, the Commission had projected a transfer of 332.8 billion naira to the Consolidated Revenue Fund, but was only able to remit 101 billion naira.
We were not able to auction, and this was primarily because of the market conditions. So the two large operators already have 5G spectrum, and they are actually underutilizing it. Now, the third largest operator who we're banking on to purchase this spectrum, unfortunately indicated to us that perhaps this is not the right time to do it, and they made it clear that their strategy was to expand their 4G.
In 2024, I think what you did was 25% to Nigerian data protection. The law says you ought to give them 2.8. I am aware that your revenue was cut in 2024, but the percentage you gave...
Recent data by the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, NBS, the telecommunications sector in Nigeria contributes around 16% to the country gross domestic product, GDP. With this in mind, the NCC being the regulator, it must be fully equipped in all ramifications, including finances, and to carry out these regulatory functions.
You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Coming up next. 519 stolen vehicles in the year 2024, including 52 in January 2025 alone, with ongoing investigations into more cases. Details on that and more coming after the break. Please stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page as Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. The convener of Revolution Now movement, Omoyele Sowore, has been granted bail to the tune of 10 million naira and one shorty in Like-Sam. The shorty must be a responsible individual with landed property valued at Like-Sam. The shorty is expected to be deposited and the original document of landed property and a passport photograph to the registrar of the court. Correspondent Kulojo reports that the trial judge, while ruling on the bail application, ordered Sowore to deposit his international passport with the registrar of the court. The trial judge, however, gave Sowore 24 hours to perfect the bail conditions, or whether they were remanded by police till the bail is perfected.
The information we have for you is that the judge has finally granted bail after the hearing yesterday. And the bail conditions are very mathematical, so I leave it to the lawyers. But it's just to inform the Nigerian people that we are very resolute in our desire to make sure this country is extricated from the hands of... we are very committed to ensuring that the welfare of the people of this country is paramount to us. And we are not doing it because elections are coming. We are not emergency activists, the ones that started yesterday. El-Rufai, Amechi, and the rest of them. We do this as a matter of conviction, and it is our body clock that reminds us about injustice, not election calendars.
The police opposed the application, claiming that Sowore is going to jump bail, that is going to disappear. Embarrassingly enough, as the judge himself noted, and correctly so, even the police admitted Sowore on administrative bail, even though the conditions were ridiculous, asking him to bring a level 17 civil servant. But the court made a point that what informed your decision to consider him eligible for administrative bail?
Not other stories, the Ministry of Youth Development will continue to collaborate with security agencies in the fight against persistent cybercrime. Minister of Youth Development Ayodele Olawande made a disclosure at the stakeholders' engagement on the negative impact of internet fraud and the role of illegal cryptocurrency companies on the economy of Nigeria, held in Abuja on Thursday. Olawande emphasized the use of alternative means to fight the scourge instead of arrest, which sometimes causes pandemonium, especially when the suspect resisted.
We are part of this system, we have been in this system, and we always want to be part of the system, both within the government and outside the government. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening to me. And I can assure you that once again, we will want to have this, even with the police, with the security agency and everybody.
Policies will be made to discourage the rise in internet fraud. According to him, solid solutions will be preferred after the implementation.
Basically, it's due to the rising of internet fraud. And now my major problem is internet fraud has been in existence. We call it 419 then. It got to a point where these people became prone to this information. So they hardly could do them 419 again then. Now we've now entered internet fraud. These people will still get prone to this information. So what will be the next thing for this our youth that are doing this internet fraud? That's the question. That's why the basic reason for this event is to outline all these problems.
Not all those stories. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has pledged continuous and genuine partnership with the Inter-Party Advisory Council towards deepening the nation's democracy. National Chairman of the Commission, Mahmood Yakubu, made the pledge at the unveiling of the 100 Years of Political Parties Evolution in Nigeria book held in Abuja on Thursday. Yakubu, who was represented by National Commissioner in charge of Information and Voter Education, Sam Olumeko, stressed that IPAC has played a crucial role in fostering dialogue between political parties and the Commission, as well as ensuring a more inclusive electoral process. Yakubu maintains that the partnership is committed to promoting adherence to democratic principles, improving election management, and strengthening the collective resolve to deepen democracy in Nigeria.
Collaboration has yielded significant results in areas such as political party registration, election monitoring, and engendering capacity building initiatives for political actors. Going forward, we must sustain and deepen this engagement to ensure that our democracy continues to evolve in line with international best practices. As is currently constitutionally provided, candidates running for elective offices must do so under the sponsorship of a duly registered political party. Hence, they are the fulcrum of democratic governance in Nigeria.
Former Senate President Ayim Pius Ayim will deliver the keynote address commended IPAC for its will in resolving the nagging problem of political stability in Nigeria, advising political leaders to work harder to strengthen political structures and institutions, deepen participatory democracy for unity of Nigerians.
Nigerians' experiences in political belief, IPAC has demonstrated leadership and commitment to helping to find solutions to the nagging problem of political stability in our dear country. This is a worthy contribution to our collective effort at sanitizing our politics, strengthening our political structures and institutions, deepening participatory democracy, and building an inclusive, peaceful, cohesive, and prosperous Nigeria of our dream.
As we embark on this journey, through the pages of 100 years of political evolution, political party evolution in Nigeria, let us reflect on the lessons of the past, celebrate the milestones of the present, and chart a course for a future filled with youth.
The Independent National Electoral Commission on Thursday tended bimodal voter accreditation system machines before the Edo State Governorship Election Tribunal in Abuja. Appearing before the court on a subpoena issued by the tribunal on January 9, a senior technical officer in INEC's ICT department, Anthony Todo, informed the tribunal that he brought a total of 148 BVAS devices from 133 polling units. The People's Democratic Party and its governorship candidate, Asue Godalo, who contested the September 21, 2024 gubernatorial election in the state, had dragged INEC, Governor Monday Okpebolo, and All Progressive Congress before the tribunal to challenge the election results. Upon the presentation of BVAS machines and confirmation of their numbers, the petitioners' counsel, Robert Emukwero San, informed the Justice Wilfred Pochi-led three-member panel that INEC official had previously claimed to have brought 151 BVAS machines, not 148. Earlier, petitioners witnessed 13 Isigbe Victor, a 43-year-old farmer and politician residing in Neme, took the stand. He adopted this witness statement as his evidence before the tribunal. In his testimony under cross-examination by INEC's counsel, PW13 disclosed that he did not sign Form EC8B for Ward 9 in Akoko Edo. When asked to provide evidence of his participation in the election process, he responded, "As a ward agent for Ward 9, Akoko Edo, I have my tag as a ward chairman, and when the election was going on, I noticed the incorrect collation, which is why I did not sign it." He stated that there are 36 polling units. Now to the story teased earlier, the Nigerian police force has recovered 1,519 stolen vehicles in the year 2024, including 52 in January 2025 alone, while with ongoing investigations into more cases. Force Public Relations Officer is including 52 in January 2025 alone, while with ongoing investigations into more cases. Force Public Relations Officer ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi disclosed this during a press briefing in Abuja, where he highlighted the role of the Electronic Central Motor Register (ECMR) in these successes. Correspondent Kuleojo reports that Adejobi explained that the ECMR is a discoveries, saying things launched over 400,000 vehicles have been registered, with 1,011 reported stolen and 5,877 flagged for conflicting information. He added that one major recovery involved a Toyota Highlander stolen in 2021, noting that the owner reported the theft through the ECMR portal 2 years later.
The effort of the force in combating crime in various spheres cannot be overemphasized, especially in the area of vehicle theft. As the Nigerian Police Force recorded the successful recovery of 1,519 vehicles in the last year, and so far has recorded the recovery of 52 vehicles.
He added that vehicle owners could register their vehicle information with the Nigeria Police by visiting the website, while those reporting stolen vehicles could do so through the dedicated portal.
The IGP has once again reiterated that the Nigeria Police Force will continue to invest in and adopt modern technological solutions to combat crime effectively in this country. As we move forward, our focus remains on using every available tool to ensure the safety of our citizens and protect their property.
Oyo State government says it has worked assiduously to establish the policy, institutional and financial mechanism needed to attain the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs). The State Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Professor Musiba Babatunde, said this in Ibadan during a day training workshop on the preparation of the 2024 Conditional Grant Scheme. The training is organized for directors of budget, research, statistics, and SDGs desk officers across the 33 local government areas in the state. The theme of the training workshop is expected official roles and responsibilities towards successful implementation of 2024 CGS SDGs. The Commissioner, who was represented by the Senior Special Assistant on SDG, Mr. Muftau Ogoremi, maintained that SDGs were expected to move the world into an inclusive, sustainable development path. In his goodwill message, the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Saliu Adilabu, said this ministry was prepared to release all records needed for successful implementation of the SDGs in the state. According to Adilabu, the state government works with data, science and logic to drive the development of the state.
Two goals that are pertinent to my ministry, SDG 4 and SDG 17. These are educationally related sustainable development goals. And when we are talking of data gathering, it enables you to do planning. Effective and efficient is not about assessing grants alone. And we know the slogan of our state, that the present government, the government of His Excellency, Governor Oluseyi Makinde, works on data.
They should expect the implementation of the projects. You see, we have gone around already, identified where new construction, talking about schools, primary schools for that matter, are needed, and where existing buildings that are dilapidated are going to be rehabilitated. We have gone around to identify where health centers, the primary health centers for that matter, needed rehabilitation, and where new construction is needed.
You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Let's go on a break. When we come back, the news continues. To stay with us. Many thank the Association of Nigeria has expressed worry over the federal government's delay in implementing the approved 50% reduction in the energy bill of federal health and educational institutions as earlier announced by the government. It also frowned at the slow progress in implementing the decisions and resolutions reached recently between the association and the government regarding its demands. In August 2024, government announced that it would subsidize electricity in universities and health institutions under Band A feeders, but according to the association, the promise is yet to be implemented. A communique issued on Thursday at the end of the NDCAN's National Executive Council meeting, which was held in Ilorin, stated that the NEC observed the negative impact of the shortage in medical manpower, cutting across all levels and cadres of healthcare professionals, with various healthcare workers failing to take up positions advertised in hospitals, resulting in some units regrettably closing down within the backdrop of massive brain drain in the health and medical education sectors. It said this has impacted negatively on the quality of healthcare services offered to the citizens and the overburdening of the existing workforce available in medical schools and hospitals, which has also negatively impacted the well-being of healthcare workers who often suffer from burnout. Some retirees under the Kaduna State Contributory Pension Scheme said that 8 years after retirement, they are yet to receive their retirement benefits and entitlement. Most of the pensioners who spoke during a meeting in Kaduna on Thursday said they are no longer interested in the Contributory Pension Scheme as it no longer meets their needs. They call on government as a matter of urgency to look into their plight, as they have been living from hand to mouth since they left work many years ago. Fielding questions from newsmen, the chairman of the association, Professor Niet Danjuma, said over 1,000 retirees under the scheme in Kaduna State alone have died out of prolonged frustration.
As of today, I have over 1,000. Over 1,000 of our members have died. As I'm speaking today, there is a burial that is going on tomorrow. We have them. So I have resolved that, as I said in other interviews, that I have resolved any retiree that dies now, we want to arrange a convoy to take the corpse and drop it in government house. That's when they will know that it is a serious case in Kaduna State.
So we should opt out. It is the responsibility of government to pay its workers who serve it 35 years. Whether they have money or they don't have money, they should go and look for it. They should pay us in the old scheme. That is the defined scheme.
We are aware that Kaduna State government is super rich. It has money to offset us the money. So this is time for us to strike.
It's better directed to the government.
But what are the reasons they gave you first?
No reason. In fact, this is our first time of convening a meeting like this, because we are tired of staying to listen or hear a call from the government side. And so we said, Kai, let us do something for ourselves.
The number of cows slaughtered daily in Lagos State has dropped from 5,000 to 3,000, according to Lagos State Butchers Association. The association's patron Alhaji Bamidele Kazim disclosed this during an interaction with newsmen hinging the development and the current socio-economic challenges in the country. He noted that the drop in cattle slaughter began in 2015 due to the Boko Haram insurgency and worsened with the current exchange rate crisis and inflation. Kazim expressed concern that the number of slaughtered cows could decline even further due to rise in prices in the market. He said previously a cow could be purchased between 400,000 naira and 500,000 naira depending on the breed size and location, but now cost between 1.6 million naira and 1.7 million naira. He attributed the drop in beef demand to the economic downturn, inflation, and rise in cost of living. Banditry and farmer-led conflicts have also contributed to reduction in cattle production, therefore affecting supply and the number of cows slaughtered in Lagos. Now, we move to the international desk for more news. This is news from the international scene. A huge search operation is underway after a passenger plane carrying 64 people crashed following a major collision with a U.S. Army helicopter near Washington, D.C. Emergency responders have recovered at least 30 bodies from the crash scene. The American airline flight from Wichita, Kansas was approaching Ronald Reagan National Airport at around 9 p.m. local time on Wednesday when the two aircraft collided. 3 U.S. Army soldiers were on board the Black Hawk helicopter, a defense official said. Figure skaters from both the U.S. and Russia are among those known to have been on the plane. Several athletes, coaches and family members were returning from a development camp, U.S. Figure Skating, the Sports American governing body, said in a statement. Russia confirmed the former world champions Vadim Nomov, 55, and Evgenia Shishkova, 52, who are also married, were on the plane. The Pentagon said the helicopter, a Sikorsky 860, took off from Fort Belvoir in Virginia. An official said it was on a training flight and belonged to B Company, 12th Aviation Battalion from Fort Belvoir in Virginia. Multiple people have been killed and 9 injured, including a child, in a drone attack on an apartment building in the northeastern Ukrainian city of Sumy. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russia targeted Sumy with an Iranian Shahed drone, while his military said a total of 81 drones were launched overnight, damaging businesses and homes. The military says 37 of the drones were shot down, including in Sumy and near the capital Kyiv, and 39 others did not reach the targets, without elaborating on what happened to the 5 remaining drones. Local authorities added that 5 apartments and more than 20 cars were damaged in the attack. Russia's defense minister also reported that Moscow downed 104 Ukrainian drones over Kursk and Bryansk. Elsewhere in the southern Ukrainian region of Odessa, officials said Russian drones targeted the port town of Izmail, where a grain warehouse, a hospital and 2 residents were damaged. The ministry said it was continuing its advances in a village in the Donetsk region. The ramped-up attacks came weeks before the war's 3rd anniversary on February 24. About half of Russian assaults across 1,000 kilometers front are focused on the town of Prokrovsk in Ukraine's east throughout the past week. The town is considered to be a gateway to the most heavily fortified areas left in Ukraine's hand in the region of Donetsk. Last week, Ukrainian commanders reported the large numbers of Russian forces were amassing there for a concerted push to take the town, which has held out for the year. The enemy is trying to advance around the clock. Maxim Boklin, a spokesman for the Ukrainian National Guard unit fighting in Prokrovsk, declared Russian forces were going back to using heavy armor and vehicles after a period of infantry attacks, he said. Previously, they often sent troops on foot. Now, in most cases, they bring them closer, land them and try to fight under the cover of artillery and multiple launch rocket system, added Boklin. He said the Russian forces incurred heavy vehicle losses in the process. On Wednesday, Ukraine also claimed that Russian military lost 1,670 men in 24 hours, updating its estimated toll of Russia's wartime losses of 834,670 soldiers. Still on the international scene, the Israeli army says 8 captives, including 3 Israelis and 5 foreign nationals held in Gaza, have been released in the 3rd phase of a ceasefire and captive exchange deal between Israel and Hamas. Agan Berger, a 20-year-old Israeli soldier, was the first to be released on Thursday as she emerged from under rubble at the Jabalia refugee camp in Gaza, which was repeatedly being targeted by Israeli forces since October 2023. Later on Thursday, an Israeli female civilian, Abdel Yehud, was released outside of what used to be the house of the former Hamas political chief Yahya Sinwar in the southern city of Khan Yunis. Another Israeli civilian and 5 Thai nationals were also handed over to Red Cross officials, the Israeli army said in a tweet. In return, Israel is due to release 110 Palestinians held in Israeli prisons. Itamar Ben-Gvir, Israel's former national security minister, who resigned over the ceasefire deal, says the captives handover seen in Khan Yunis showed Israel did not achieve a complete victory in Gaza. A ban on United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugee UNRWA in Israel has come into effect, impacting the organization's life-saving work in Gaza and the occupied West Bank. On Thursday, the law, which was passed in October, bans UNRWA from operating on Israeli land, including in occupied East Jerusalem, and contact with Israeli authorities is forbidden. For more than 70 years, UNRWA has provided support for Palestinian rights work. Israel has repeatedly accused UNRWA employees of involvement in the October 7 attack without providing proof. Ahead of the ban coming into effect, Israel's foreign ministry spokesperson Oren Marmotstian said that humanitarian aid doesn't equal UNRWA, adding that alternative organizations exist that can facilitate aid into the Gaza Strip. On Wednesday, Israel's Supreme Court rejected the petition by human rights group Abdallah to contest the ban. However, the court noted that the legislation prohibits UNRWA